Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? And of course, welcome back to the Sports Lovers. Big news in the NFL. The Giants have named their new starting quarterback if Jackson Dart does not pass the concussion protocol, and that is none other than Jameis Winston. He's the quarterback number 2 on the depth chart. Now, I cannot wait to see what he does in New York in these next couple of games. It's going to be very, very interesting to say the least. However, in today's video, we of course are going to be predicting the Big Ten games this weekend. We're going to talk about them, break them down, give our thoughts on them. We'll go over the lines for each game, of course, like we always do. Talk about what you should, what you shouldn't bet for this weekend. But if you are new to the channel, you already know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Later today, we will, of course, have our NFL prediction video, so stay tuned for that. We will also, tomorrow, have SEC predictions along with our Texas A&M Road to Glory. So hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. We're also posting on TikTok. That's also, go follow us on there. We're also on Instagram at The Sports Lovers. We are also on Twitter as well. So we're on every social media platform you could probably think of, and we're trying our best out here, that's for sure. But hit that sub button, leave a comment down below. That's the number one thing you can do to support us here at the channel. Of course, we are hopping into these Big Ten games. It's game day for the Hawks, the Pels. They are back in action tonight. Going to be very interesting to see what New Orleans can do at home after a very crucial road trip on the road in Atlanta. They are on the road at Sacramento, so that's going to be very interesting as well. But games today in the NBA, however, we have predictions. We got to get to them. And without further ado, let us hop into these Big Ten week number 12 predictions. All right, kicking us off in the Big Ten on Friday Night Football this week, that is Minnesota going into Oregon. The line in this game is 25.5. Let's be real. Oregon is going to absolutely crush Minnesota. I get Minnesota. They're 6-3, bowl eligible. Again, they're looking to walk into Eugene and upset the Ducks. I don't think that's going to happen. Oregon is just way too good for them to do that, especially on defense. I believe they're going to be able to hold Minnesota at their will. I'm taking Oregon. I think it's going to be a very curious game to watch in the early parts of the game, but I think Oregon's going to run away with it late, and they will run away by 30 points. I'm taking Oregon in a blowout game at home against Minnesota on Friday night to pull out the win. Moving on to the next one in another blowout game. Lots of blowout games this week. That is Indiana, hosting Wisconsin. Wisconsin, they are 3-6 on the year. Still a chance they can make a bowl game, yes, but I don't think they do. Indiana, again, 10-0, best team in the Big Ten. I think after that scare against Penn State this past weekend, they're going to turn on the Jets this week. I think they're going to start out hot and never look back. Let's be real. Mendoza, been a Heisman Trophy favorite all year long. Expect that to continue this week, as he will probably toss 4 or 5 touchdown passes. Let's be real. And I think Indiana wins this one by a landslide, and they should get the job done. I don't know about the line, though. I know Indiana's at home. 29.5. I think it could be a 30, 31 point game. I really do. I think it could also be a 20, 25 point game. So whatever you're feeling for that Saturday, bet with you will, as you will, And however, with that being said, I'm going to go with Indiana to get the job done at home against Wisconsin. Luke Fickell is going to be the head coach moving forward, but going to be very curious to see their recruiting classes this coming up weekend. Moving on to the next game here at Wrigley Field. This is going to be a good one. Michigan at Northwestern in Chicago. Michigan is favored 12.5. I don't know. I could see Northwestern walking into Michigan and getting the job done. However, I'm not going to do it. I think Bryce Underwood has been playing some really good football for him to be a freshman. 7 touchdown passes, only 3 interceptions thrown on the year. You got to take that into account against a very lackluster Northwestern defense. I think Michigan gets off to a good start. I think they get off to a hot start, and they never look back. Again, Bryce Underwood has been playing some really good ball as a freshman quarterback for the Michigan Wolverines. They're ranked in the top 25, number 18 in the country. Still a chance they can make that college football playoff, but they got to upset Ohio State come down the line, and it starts this weekend against Northwestern. Michigan should be able to get the job done, that's for sure. Moving on to the next one, a top 25 battle here in the Big Ten, and it's not on CBS this week, but it's going to be a good one. That is Iowa going into USC. Iowa almost beating Oregon at home. Oregon getting the job done on a walk-off field goal on the road. Then we have USC, been one of the hottest teams in the Big Ten, 5-1, 7-2 on the year, up to 17. This is a 17 versus 21 matchup. Going to be a very, very close game. Again, no Miller Moss for USC. There's a new quarterback at the helm. His name is Maviaya. So I'm very curious to watch him perform against a very good Iowa defense. This Iowa defense is nothing to underestimate, that's for sure. And if you do, Iowa's going to win this game. I know the line is USC 6.5. I don't take that line. I think it's going to be a 3 or 4 point game the entire way through. This is going to be a very close matchup. I think USC wins it, but I think they win it by a field goal. I could totally see Iowa, though, coming off of that loss to Eugene, or to Oregon and Eugene, being all mad and going in there and getting the job done on the road at USC. But with that said, I'm sticking with my gut, and my gut tells me to take the USC Trojans in that matchup. Moving on to the next game, that is Penn State at Michigan State. We thought this was going to be a banger, of course, at the beginning of the year. With that said, it is not. 3-6 versus 3-6. Going to be very interesting, that's for sure. One of these two teams will get their first Big Ten win on the season. I think it's going to be Michigan State. I think they're at home. I think Penn State, coming off of that heartbreaking loss to Indiana at home, they're just shut down for the most part. I think Michigan State's going to win this game. The line has Penn State favored by 7.5. I don't take that. I think Michigan State is going to get the job done. I think it's going to be a 3 or 4 point game, and Michigan wins it on a walk-off field goal at home against the Nittany Lions. Moving on to the next matchup, that is Maryland at Illinois. I think I'm going to go with Illinois here. Again, their offense is really good. The line's Illinois 14.5. I expect that to continue. Luke Altmaier has been playing really good football. Of course, almost 3,000 passing yards, which is absolutely wild. I expect Maryland to, of course, be competitive in this game, but not be as competitive as Illinois, because Illinois is the bigger, stronger team. I think that's the reason that they win this weekend, and they do cover the spread at 14.5. Moving on to the next one, that is Purdue at Washington. Purdue almost given Ohio State a scare last week in the early first half, but in the second half, Ohio State does what Ohio State does best and wins football games with Julian Salan and Jeremiah Smith. So, again, with that being said, Washington's going to win this game. They're the better team, man. They should be able to, of course, win this ball game. Drew Williamson, one of the better quarterbacks for Washington, has been playing really good football. 15 touchdowns on the year, 5 interceptions thrown. I think Washington does get the job done at home, but I think Purdue will give them a scare, and it won't be a 16.5 point game at all. Moving on to the nightcap game of the weekend on NBC, that is UCLA at Ohio State. Guys, let's be real. Give me Ohio State. Ohio State by 50. Let's be real. Julian Salan, Jeremiah Smith, we just talked about him. Some of the best players in the country. They're playing a lackluster UCLA team. I get UCLA was able to knock off Penn State with Drew Aller at the helm, but that was different with James Franklin, right? With that being said, I'm going Ryan Day, rocking with Ohio State to close us out on a Big Ten Saturday night in college football. However, you guys let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post to this channel every single day. Of course, we will have our NFL prediction video, so stay tuned for that. Hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. It's also the #1 thing you can do to support us here at the channel. Go follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all of that stuff. Post them pretty much daily over there, so go give us a follow. Hit that sub button, leave a comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.